Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Rao Aisha Sadiq, lecturer, Department of English, ISP, Multan. Welcome to another exciting episode of Lingua Literatia. Dear audience, today in this episode, we will have discussion on foreign scholarship, how to get admission fully funded and partially funded in universities in abroad. Our guest speakers have studied from abroad and both belong to the fields of linguistics. So we will have a general discussion on the new domains and new insights in the fields of linguistics. Let me introduce our guest. My first guest speaker is Senior Lecturer, Department of English, ISP, Multan, Mr. Abdul Bari Khan. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
He is a PhD scholar in the University of Malaysia, Sarawak. He has received Zamala Research Scholarship in Malaysia. He has served as assistant research in that university and also has served as a faculty member over there. He has published 70 research articles in national and international impact factor journals. Currently, he is working in ISP and his research interests are in the field of digital linguistics, applied linguistics, and his specialty is in English language teaching and learning. My next guest speaker is Assistant Professor, Department of English, ISP, Multan, Dr. Taimur Gurmani. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
He has done PhD in linguistics from UTHM. He has TEFL qualified from University of England, Pembroke. He has published research articles in national and international journals. He specializes in digital language and his research areas are CEFR, and he is interested in exploring the field of digital intentional vocabulary corpus. My first question is addressed to Mr. Abdul Bari Khan. Sir, what are the basic requirements for getting admission in fully funded and partially funded postgraduate research programs in abroad?
Right. Thank you very much, ma'am, for giving me your precious time. And ISP, as you know, they are giving teachers opportunities to go for these kind of discussions. As you know, the way you asked me this question is very basic question. You know, in international environment, international universities, they are offering a number of scholarships. As I was in Malaysia, so Malaysian government, they initiated this project which is known as Malaysian International Scholarship. So MIS is taken as the abbreviation of this scholarship. So Malaysian government scholarship, it's very easy to get scholarship. As you know, you have certain basic requirements like you must have IELTS. Like before 2016, IELTS was not compulsory, but onwards 2016, IELTS is compulsory and 6.00 band is essential for getting BS or master's scholarship, and especially PhD scholarships. You must have 3 above CGPA, 3.00 CGPA. And apart from this, like you must have very good communication skills, otherwise they cannot give you international scholarships. And other than these two requirements, like you must have curriculum vitae, which is on international standard, and your research proposal, the area in which you are going to research, that is very, very important because your application is judged on the basis of your research proposal. So in that way, if you have these requirements, and especially the teachers who are your senior teachers, like if you have 2 recommendation letters from your teachers, professors, to whom you already...
In Pakistan?
Yeah, in Pakistan.
Okay.
Like if you got your master degree from Namal University, so if your teachers, they give you 2 recommendation letters, sometimes they are called reference letters. So they are very important in your application. So in that way, like your application will be strong in the eyes of those professors who are sitting and analyzing applications for scholarships.
Okay.
So these are the basic requirements. And other than this, you know, Malaysian government, they are going to initiate these kind of initiatives. So the reason is they want to make their universities standard institutions. So in that way, they are trying to motivate international students in their market so that those international students can contribute in their environment to uplift their educational environment. So in that sense, like we Pakistanis, can better get these kind of opportunities, as you know that Malaysia is not costly like European
Other
countries.
European countries,
So
exactly.
if you will go there, it's quite easy for us to adjust in those countries, especially like if I talk about Malaysia. Malaysia is a multicultural society. Almost 40 ethnicities are living over there, and it is a kind of very good experience for the scholars. Like if you want to get international exposure, you can meet the people who are native speakers, then the people of Asia, then Russian peoples are studying there, then the Japanese are studying there. So in that way they are inviting many students on exchange programs.
Okay.
So in that way, like we can get a number of advantages from that scholarship. And under that scholarship, one more interesting thing is, like their age requirement is quite flexible.
Okay.
For master degree, their age requirement is 40 years, and for PhD, their age requirement is 45 years.
45.
And if we compare this age with other international communities, so they restrict PhD age with 35 years. Otherwise,
Okay.
like for master 30 years, for
Okay,
PhD 35 years. But Malaysia, you can see it's a plus point for Pakistanis that they are giving us relaxation in age.
Then imagine. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And under that scholarship, like they provide you different coverages, like 1500 RM.
Okay.
As you know, in Pakistan now, universities are giving scholarship to the students, but in Malaysia, if a student is getting 1500 stipend, so
Okay.
student can easily live in their environment. So the student can travel, student can go and present research papers in different colloquiums, seminars and conferences. Apart from this, like before 2016 MIS scholarship, under that scholarship Pakistani students were getting air flights. Yes.
Okay.
Tickets they normally provide to the
They were
Pakistani
provided
students.
us. Okay.
But after 2016, they changed this rule. Like now they are not giving tickets, airfare to the students.
Okay.
But apart from these, the requirements, they used to give other benefits. Like they give you tuition fee,
Okay.
which is handsome amount. Then they provide you accommodation,
Okay.
stipend. So in that way, students can easily complete their studies
Studies in
without
that,
any
scholarship.
kind of
Okay,
problem.
this was about the funded scholarship.
Yeah.
And if it is partially funded scholarship, then what is that?
Yes, they have three categories for partial funded scholarship. Like in Malaysia, some students they are getting 20% scholarship.
Okay.
The other students they are getting 45-50% scholarship.
Okay.
And some students they are only getting tuition fee.
Tuition fees.
Yeah, but those scholarships are scholarships which are provided by the local universities rather than government of Malaysia.
Go on.
So in that way, like sometimes teachers, professors, they have grants. So
Okay.
if the student is not getting any scholarship, suppose MIS or any other scholarship, so teachers they have grants, they can provide, you can say, assistance for their students. So they can give you other projects which are funded. So in that way, those
They can
students
compensate.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. My next question is with my next guest, Dr. Taimur Gurmani. Sir, as I was studying your profile, there was mentioned that your research interest area is CEFR. So I want to inquire, what is CEFR?
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. It's a very good questions, and it will be knowledgeable as well.
Okay.
Actually, CEFR is a common European framework of reference for languages, and this project is headed by the Cambridge University, and it's also funded by the Council of Europe.
Okay.
Actually, this project started in Europe in 2001, but more than 40 countries have adopted this methodology and all this framework in their countries, and some of them have translated it. Like examples of translations are like Japan has adopted this and they have made CEFRJ.
Okay.
That is aligned with this framework, but it's Japanese. China has also adopted this like CEFRC, and a lot of professors and research veterans are working in these projects. Actually, CEFR is related to the language learning, teaching, testing and assessment, where students can self-assess their proficiency skills. As Mr. Bari was talking about how about the IELTS and what are the bands?
Okay.
Actually, maybe CEFR in future may replace the IELTS like A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, and they have 6 proficiency levels. Like wherever in international universities, they mention that how much should be the band of IELTS. They do mention that at least CFR level should be proficiency at B2.
Okay.
As for non-European countries. But if you go to Europe, some of the universities who have good scholarships, they require at least C1 category of proficiency for university level at PhD level. So this is the actual project that's going on now. Almost all of the Asian countries have also adopted it. And regarding Pakistan, I published few papers on CEFR that were new, but I would encourage the teaching faculty or faculty at ISP that they can assess their students' proficiency by using this CEFR framework, because CEFR framework is actually based on the vocabularies.
Okay. Do you think that it can be operationalized in the context of Pakistani academia?
Yes, it can be, because if the 40 countries have adopted it, why not the Pakistani faculties adopt it? So, because Cambridge University has provided a free access website that is English vocabulary profile, and they have also provided a testing service that's also free. That is on the text inspector. That's also you can say software that measures the proficiency of students in written and reading versions. They do it.
It is quite interesting, and definitely it will be useful for our academia if we work on it and if we implement it, and particularly in the context of I talk about in context of ISP. Thank you, Sir Taimur. If CEFR is implemented in educational institution, it will be a great contribution to the field of language teaching and language learning. Thank you, Sir Abdul Bari. Your contribution to the information regarding foreign scholarship is very fruitful for our student. We will resume our discussion on this point after break.
Institute of Southern Punjab Multan, the largest and pioneer degree awarding institute in South Punjab region.
attract their audience. Before break, we were discussing about the procedure and requirement for getting admissions in foreign countries, and with this we were discussing about the significance and implementation of CEFR. So now my next question is with Sir Abdul Bari. Sir, what are the documents required for getting admission in foreign countries? Just talk about the documentation process.
Right. It's a very simple process. Like, first of all, we must have all the degrees
Okay.
plus DMCs. Normally, the students, they are not familiar with DMCs. They normally send final, degree certificates.
okay.
So DMCs are very important because our grading system is mentioned on the
Mentioned
back
on the
of,
class.
these DMCs.
Okay.
So international universities, they don't know about our grading system. So once we will attach those, then they will easily come to know that where we fall, where is our status of application, because they are going to judge our educational background. The other thing is our degrees must be notarized. Like, two things are acceptable. One is that, like, degrees will be notarized from notary republic officer.
Okay.
They normally sit in
Courts.
courts, yeah. And other thing is HEC is our system, which is the only system that used to verify degrees of
Degree attestation.
Yes. So
Okay.
degree attestation is important. In that way, like, if your degrees are notarized or attested from
by
HEC,
Okay.
then the application will have a good chance for the scholarship. Third thing is, like, proficiency letter is also acceptable in certain universities in international environment. But mostly they demand IELTS, and minimum requirement is 6 plus band out of 8 total number of bands. And then research proposal, like different countries, they have different requirements. If I talk about Malaysia, then they require 1,000 words research proposal. Whatever you want to do. If you are a student of literature, then definitely you have to prepare a research proposal for 100 words. And like, we have to follow the writing styles like APA, MLA, Chicago.
Exactly.
Yes. So normally the student, they used to write in academic writing, but they don't follow
The
international writing
international
styles.
standards, okay.
Yeah. And apart from that, your passport must be its expiry must be less than 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, students normally they made this mistake. Like, they used to apply for the international scholarships, but they don't check the expiry date. If your passport is expired, then they will not facilitate your application.
Okay.
And other than this, like, 2 recommendation letters are very important, as earlier I discussed with you.
Exactly.
Like, your senior teachers, when you were doing your degree at that time, if 2 of the senior faculty members who knows your expertise, who knows your research area, who knows your the status of education as well, like you were an average student, good student, or brilliant student. So in that way, if they will give you 2 reference letters, then you will have a brighter chances. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir. It was also informative. Okay, my next question is with Dr. Temur. Dr. Temur, you also have studied abroad. What differences you find in the research culture of international academia and the academia in Pakistan?
Thank you so much, madam. Actually, there is a big difference in the academia, and in academia, then there is difference among the students.
Okay.
So the reason is our students are not much familiar with the metrics of publishing their researches.
Okay.
So this is the major difference. And regarding, before break, we were discussing about scholarships and grants.
Exactly.
Foreign students, they earn grants, they earn benefits with the help of publishing their research articles in well-reputed research journals.
Exactly.
Well-reputed research journals, usually they are recognized in universities in abroad or Scopus indexed. Either they are Web of Sciences.
Okay.
Either now the third, another emerging citation or platform for the research journal is ESCI, that is headed by China as well.
Okay.
So they send their papers to these different journals under these databases, and they get them published, and they favor, like they like to publish in scopus that are quartile 1, quartile 2, 3 and 4, in those categories. So once they get the articles published in well-reputed journals, based on those publications, they also submit applications for grant to their supervisors in their department and in their faculties.
Okay.
Based on all these things, a lot of time they remain successful in earning grants.
Grants.
And regarding Pakistani students, most of our students are not even familiar with the metric system of
And
publications.
even they are lacking interest in the field of publication.
Because students in Pakistan are not familiar with all these things, and we have also one database added by our HEC.
Exactly.
And other thing, that once the students at PhD level or even at master's level in international universities, they publish at least 1 or 2 research articles. It's requirement. It's requirement for their
It's
viva.
compulsory.
It's compulsory, mandatory.
Mandatory.
It's mandatory that they must publish the articles, and at the time of their
Getting
viva,
admitted. Okay.
the research journal must be indexed in Scopus, because Scopus evaluates after every 3 months. They delist the journals that don't publish quality papers.
Okay.
So now I think you can understand how is their academia and how much is the difference between our students and them. So based on all these things, they earn grants and even scholarships.
Exactly.
There is also a huge ground for them in the international arena. in
Actually,
academia.
they are having a thriving research culture, and in Pakistan, or even if I particularly talk about our South Punjab, so our student is lacking in the field of research. They are not interested in doing research. They are not interested. Actually, they are not familiar with the scope and significance of research publication that is necessary for promoting even their educational and professional growth.
And other thing, the international researchers have combined the research with the artificial intelligence.
Exactly.
Both the things, even the field of applied linguistics.
Applied linguistics.
So like there are many softwares like Jasper, AI, OpenAI, Jasper and Chat GPT, all those things. The international students actually operationalized all these software to improve their different skills. But this lack of information in our universities in Pakistan, specifically in South Punjab, students should learn all these techniques to improve their research and enhance their research culture.
Exactly, we should develop it.
They must inculcate all those techniques that foreign students are prone to.
Exactly.
And then they can develop their better research culture. And even students from Pakistan, if they publish a research article under the Web of Science, either even in Scopus Q1, even from Pakistan, they can earn a foreign scholarship if they attach their published article with the research proposal.
Exactly.
And they can hunt a very good scholarship, and they can even connect to the international supervisors while sitting in Pakistan even. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Abdul Bari Khan, and thank you, Dr. Taimur Guremani. You have shared very valuable pieces of information for the student in Pakistan and for the student at ISP. Generally, your debate on how to get admission, how to get scholarship, and about the documentation and the proficiency and the passport and everything, each and everything that you have discussed. And you have discussed about very familiar, very important concept of CEFR, where normally many of the academicians in Pakistan or even in South Punjab are not familiar with this, and the concept that it can replace IELTS is very informative. And the discussion about the Scopus and Web of Sciences, even this is the general knowledge, and it is important for our student that we should be familiar with these terminologies and with the and we should develop our research cultures for the promotion of our professional and educational profiles. Thank you very much. Now I conclude my total discussion with the gratitude to these distinguished faculty members. Stay tuned for the next episode of Lingua Literaria. Thank you.